Well, on another note, I was contacted by a member of the corporation. I thought that maybe he had been on Facebook and discovered the new presentation and wanted some information. It's actually of French expression in Cameroon, which is a bilingual country. Probably he should be a Mahdi now, a big Mahdi. See, so he was giving me the blessings and telling me, Baraka Bashad, which is really no sitting to me now when you tell me that may the blessings be. Wonder what blessings they want to confer on me. So I want to ask, in the new presentation, can we talk of any blessings?
That's kind of humorous, Charles. Thank you for asking. There always has to be humor, doesn't it? Yes, we all came up with that when we were in the corporation. Baraka Bashad made the blessings be, and those are cute ideas. You know, those are like when people are in religion and they read the Bible and they hear all these little cute stories. They're cute, aren't they? Do we want to keep this stuff going? Do we need blessings? When the Pope moves his hand out there, or when Harry lifts his hand, across the audience, what's he really doing? Is that taplining or what? Didn't Adolf Hitler raise his right arm too? What was that? Yeah. So again, do we want to keep using these old references? Again, like in a book, and when you go to the library, there's the reference part, right? There's the reference part of the library. And what do these things reference? That's how I look at it. And so I've created new references for the all is. Everything I create is a reference to the is. That's why I make it a little different. I tweak it a little bit because it becomes so. It's like creating a new road. Do you want to travel down the same old road, etc.? So again, you see, yes, these things are near and endearing, bless this, bless that, and we may use them at times, okay? Or we use the word belief, or, oh, I believe in this, or whatever, And yes, we know that's nonsense, but at the same time, we use it from time to time just as a convenient speech, all right? But many people use this as a reference, the blessing part, and the thing is that if you keep using that, then you fall back into it, don't you? You stay in that same consciousness, because consciousness is created. And this is where even when Paul, he talked about God consciousness and, self-consciousness, self-realization. Again, these things are in creation, is what they are. Even the God consciousness thing was in creation. It wasn't the true reality because there was no recognition there. It was a reference to something created. And this is what people don't get. But again, he was preparing people to think in the ultimate terms. But it doesn't mean that it was the ultimate terms. That becomes the difference. Yes. Okay. So now we are, because it's the isness, to recognize it's not something literal. So the blessing idea, sure, if you want to do that, you want to stay in the old ways, that's what they are. And that's where they want to keep you there, in the old ways. And really, the blessings, when they're saying Baraka Bashad, these are Joni's robots. And so what is the mission? Because they're missionaries, they're Vahanas, etc. Yeah, everybody's a Vahana, For who? For Harry and Joni? They're all pivoting off the corporation. So what are they doing? They're out there plugging in more tap lines, is what they're doing. because Joni works through them. Yes, they're all connected. That's her network. You see? Because it's not just physical. Oh, you don't see it in the physical sense, do you? But you got 4 other bodies there, and especially the astral body, where you get people to agree emotionally with the love idea. That's a good one. And then they tap line you. And then eventually it's diseases, illnesses, cancers, death. And that's where they control you for lifetimes, because Joni's with the one world order. Okay, she's not separate from the world. She's with the one world order. She's doing what everybody else is doing. She's with the reptilians. They all are. So again, you decide if you want to use it. Myself, I don't use these things. I stand real with the boys, it's a standing real. It's not even working. It's not the old idea, co-worker with God. Well, that sounds fun, doesn't it? Huh? Like the prison camps, or maybe the future FEMA camps. Oh, you can be a co-worker with God at the FEMA camp. See, that will become like a vacation brochure, you know. Yeah, oh yeah, you can spend 2 weeks at the FEMA camp being a co-worker with God. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? And we can all say Baraka Bashat to each other. Yeah, that's what, everything is becoming more and more curtailed all the time. More and more curtailed. It's not expanding. See, they think in their minds, oh, we're achieving spiritual growth here. We're becoming this and this, and we're unfolding. No, you're not. You're becoming more conformed, confined, self-convinced, and basically nothing but spit. That's very real, because that's where they want you. Because you keep agreeing unconsciously to the system they created. You know, we're working in this world, and actually we're standing real in this world as real worldwide educators. But this is a very small part of ourselves. You know, the real part is the isness itself. But again, I'm only doing what the boys do. That's all I'm doing. I'm just mimicking what they're doing. And they're always demonstrating to do something, to activate something. Now, I wanted to say, before you had finished the last part, because you keep bringing up the money thing, okay? The money thing. Remember, money was created for one purpose, to control and dominate others, all right? Yes, we live in a world with the money thing. And in my own way, I chase the money too. I really do. But I'm going to give you a little idea here in comparison, and you decide, all right? And that is that, does it make more sense to go out and chase the bees? Okay, it's like, oh, there's a bee over there, let's go get him. Okay, and let's go get that one. Or would it make more sense to take the time and plant flowers so the bees come to you? You tell me, all right? And so that's what we're doing here. Yeah, we're chasing the money in a particular way because we have to work with the system. I don't care about money. It's not about money. We're thinking of Joni here. She's chasing money because money is control and power. I'm not interested in control and power. I'm not interested in doing magic and all the Witzel things, etc. No, I just bypass all that together because it's my love affair with the is. That's it. That's everything. I don't need magic. But what makes sense to me is to create something where people come to me and I get their agreement to show them how to be wonderful. You see? And that's what I'm saying. See, as you bring up the money idea, oh, we need money for this, we need money for that. You know, see, it's always a need, isn't it? And what you're doing is you're aligning yourself with the system. Why not take the time to do something where it comes to you, where the system comes to you? And that's what we're doing. See, I've totally reversed it. See, Joni, she wants everybody out there chasing people to get more members. She's chasing it. It's the want, me idea. It's all about Joni, and Harry's the puppet front. Is what he is. And he's gotten seduced and sucked into it, and he agrees to it, so he's screwed. Okay? For who knows how long. He may never get out of creation, okay, with the reptilians. I don't know. I'm not concerned. He's made his choice. I respect his choice. This is where I'm very respectful. He's created his own doom like many others, and, I respect that. Hey, have fun. It's free will. So what makes more sense? Plant the flowers or chase the bees? You tell me.
Obviously, planting the flowers to attract the bees is a better option.
Yes, I would say so. And so that's why we're doing everything we can day and night, because it is a lot of work and it becomes more so. And yes, it is work. There's that part of it. But really, the bigger part, the small part is work because it's drudgery on the physical body. But even when I'm crawling around, I still do it. And the thing is that it's my love affair. It's like a woman, it's like a mother with her children, through her dying breath, she's going to support those children, see, no matter what it takes. And that's how it is. That's how a love affair really is. And I love it. I love wearing myself out to where I can barely walk. It's fine. But you see, that's what we keep doing, Charles. Yes, we have the necessary stuff here. We have the computers. We have all that. But guess what? We also have all the radiation. We have all the cameras. We have the NSA. Right now, they're tape recording us. Gee, we got Microsoft and Bill Gates, who's one of the biggest Nazis in the world, spying on us and everything we're doing. Well, the Africans out there in the villages and whatever, they don't have all that. I've been to Mexico, the deepest parts of Mexico. I lived in Acapulco and outside of it and drove down to Mexico over 40 years ago. I love the wilderness. Hey, you don't have all this stuff there. You can hide out. So the thing is that look at the advantage the Africans have. And I can tell the atmosphere is different. I live in microwave city here. You think I've got it good? This place is nuts. I'm surprised I'm still alive. That the physical body can sustain it. No, there is no good place on the planet. We all have our stuff. So again, it's very fortunate for you and others that we do have these things for you to see what's going on. And at the same time, you guys have an incredible area there that's awesome all over Africa. That's amazing because you got the wilderness there, and it's like you can almost do whatever you want. That's what I see. When I love Mexico, I do. I love being out there because I'm a surfer. I don't need much. I love the wilderness. I always wanted to be like Tarzan. Hey, I can't wait someday to get away from this stuff where I don't need the computers and that, where I can go out there. And that's why I want to get to Africa. That's what we're being shown, is I just want to work with the natives. I don't want to sit here at a computer all day long and all this nonsense. I want to show people what's real and wonderful. So again, you know, they've got something that we don't have, but they got to learn to see it. And yes, it will come to them just like the isness life is once they get together and forget this me thing and this self-convinced attitudes and negating things and just get to what makes sense. And it will work. You see? Just like a bird flying from the nest. It'll work. So yeah, we have the monetary system out there. It's not about negating it. I don't negate it, but I don't chase it either. But I have an imagination, and better than that, I have a real awareness. I can see past all of it. I can see the possibilities. So all I have to do is move towards that. And guess what? When I decide something, you know what? The boys, when it makes sense for everybody, you know what? They stand up and they do it. That's why the vessels and everything in the school and universities are already done on the real side, because you know what? They already did it. They already did it. Ask Kelsey. And until it's done on the real side, it ain't done. So the thing being is that, and ain't is a word too, whether it's in the dictionary or not. And so the thing is that, as you kids over there, because we really care, we're focused on you too, on the real side. All you have to do is step up and decide it, and guess what? It'll be done. It'll get done. Just take the risk to do it. It'll get done. And just like Chris out there on the battlefield. Hey, he's got an objective out there, and he's got to go through bullets and landmines and everything else, and the attitudes of his own men crying and whining. But you know what? He's determined he's going to get there, and he's going to get that machine gun guy that's killing all his friends. Yeah. But he's determined to do it. And all you have to do is do that. You activate it, Charles. No negating anything. Forget yourself. Just do it. Get this team together. Get everybody together, and etc. You see all the possibilities. Step one for Miriam there. Look at all the potential there. Each one of those people can do something. They can get together and do something. So that lady is very creative. When I'm with people like that, I listen. If I was any of those people over there, I'd be with her all the time, taking as much time. Forget the TV, forget talking on the cell phone, to my friends and blah, 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 texting that's worth nothing unless it's essential. But I'd get with her and I'd learn what she knows. And I'd simply mimic what she does. That's what I did in the business world, self-taught. And I've surpassed everything. I haven't gotten the agreement yet because I'm way past them. They can't even see what I'm doing, but I'm catching up with it. But all I need is the agreement. But I know what to do, and I'm doing it. And what we're doing makes sense. It's about the agreement. And some people have said to me, I've dealt with bankers, it's like, well, you know all these things, Duane. Why aren't you successful? That's what we're looking at. Well, what is success realistically is that I haven't convinced everybody of what I'm doing. Well, I can't convince them. I need agreement. And so if I were to do like what Trump is doing in the business world, I could go do that. I could go get a regular job. I could be a CEO of a big company. It's not that hard. And I could get a bunch of people. I could do what Harry's doing with the membership. I saw that. I could get a bunch of dumbed down people that just want to worship and pray, and I get millions of them to donate $1 a month. They would do it. If I just did what the system is doing, you see, because that's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. And then where would that go? Would it be about the money? It's not about the money with me. It's about bringing something real and valuable out, and that's the biggest challenge. I always look for the biggest challenge because the biggest challenge is more real than anything else. And yes, I'm way past all these people, you might say. It doesn't make me special. It's just that I see what's going on, and to get agreement with something that really makes sense with a dying world where it's become a standard to be poisoned, that's huge. Yeah, I could sell, Raid Bug Killer on the street corner and I'd sell all the cans. Oh, everybody'd buy it. But I don't want to do that. It's not for the money. Yeah, the money will be there. So I tell you, I've taken the harder road. But all that matters to me is that the boys back me and life backs me. That's what comes first. Not my job, not the money, not what I can get. Sure, I need things in the physical sense, and I take care of that, the best I can. But this is the most important thing. And all of you that are here, and all of everybody that's out there, I really care. And so, yes, I stretch myself way too thin, but I decide that that's my choice to do that. And so, because I love the adventure, I love the risk, and I learn so much from it. I become so much more aware as I confront all of this. So you kids over there in Africa, believe it or not, I'll use that silly word, Charles. You kids have a huge advantage that you're not seeing, but you got to take the time to recognize it instead of just looking at the old ways, at looking at the system, chasing money, whatever. Again, learn to listen to the real guidance and not just look for experiences with Rebazar or whatever, but make things, make sense of your life. I don't look for these things, because they're already there, but they do happen. I actually hear them from others, I rather hear their stories. I really do. I listen to Claudia, I listen to Kelsey, I listen to Val, Chris, and others. I listen to their story. Sam, whatever. I listen to their stories. I go through a lot of silly stuff on the real side because I'm very focused on getting this done for everybody because, again, I know I only have so much time. And there's going to be a time where the Skype is not working, the internet, etc. Maybe there'll be a new one. Maybe someone will have the courage to step up and do new ones. I've read about it. Someone's doing a Tesla system. Yeah, well, we can do that too. This is what I'm looking forward to. And every opportunity that I get, I create something, some idea out there, etc. Right now, the idea is I just put it in the Skype here with a one-pager about the movie thing, because I can see where I can creatively work off of the lawsuit that's coming up with the corporation and my books. And from what I've seen with episodes and whatever, somebody's going to pick that up and they're going to go bonkers with it, because what we've got is huge and it's real. So again, there's always another door, there's always another opening. Even when things look black and bleak, there's always another way, Charles. Yeah. So does it make sense to even consider the blessing idea of anything? Because kind of like prayer, you're kind of putting something on somebody, aren't you? Yeah, so even when we have confrontations with the Ekis and they just go Baraka Bashad, what does that really mean? You know? What does that really mean? Oh, I'll pray for you? Is that what it means, or whatever? Do we do that? Well, we don't do that. We just let people be. Again, we do two things. We're wonderful worldwide educators. We educate the world on what is real and what makes sense. And number two, we warn the world about what's going on against their will. Okay? Against their will, we warn them. And so, but this is what we do. Yes, we do bother people, but, we do care at the same time. So, again, anybody can do whatever they want. There's no guidelines, there's no rule book here as we go through these things, and I really appreciate your questions because they make a lot of sense, and things have to be resolved in certain ways, and we start off with the literal side. But then we want to get into the activities. We want to be activists. We want to activate things continually and not just talk about things, but in some way do something. So if I was in an agriculture class in high school, and the teacher was kind of funny. His name was Mr. Brehob. He was usually intoxicated. He was a funny guy, but I did learn some things from him. But very straightforward. He didn't smile or laugh too much. I think he was pretty bored with his job. But anyhow, Miriam could get some shovels and everybody could go out there and dig and plant flowers, and the bees could come. The bees make honey, and then you sell honey, and then you get money. See, that's one way. Has anybody seen, how many people have seen this fella in Australia that invented the flow hive? It's really cool, to where the bees come into this hive and all you do is turn the nozzle and the honey comes out. You see? Now, I'm sure it took them some time to figure that out, but it's awesome. It works. And so again, I would start planting flowers. That would be a good little project as an example. Flowers are awesome. And you can eat them too. Daisies and other type of flowers, you can eat them. They're good for you. You don't have to buy them in the store where they're all dried out and you got this cute little box, or it costs you $5 for a box of daisies, when you can just grow them and eat them. It's the same thing. So there's many ways to do things. Yeah. It's a lot of effort to chase the bees, and it's a lot of effort to chase the money. Always chasing the money. So how is it that you can get the money to come to you? How do you do that? You see, you reverse it all. See, how do you get that agreement? So again, with what we're presenting, it's scary to a world that is scared of itself. So that's why it's hard to get the agreement here. Everybody's really afraid of themselves, but they're self-convinced that they're not. That's on the surface. I see what's going on. I really do. But it takes a whole lot to explain this. How many people are going to listen to this recording? Again, then they're going to compare it to the outside world. It's like, well, gee, what you're saying sounds, kind of okay, Duane. Well, not really, but whatever. But at the same time, how's that going to feed my family? I need a job, whatever. Okay, well, you need a job, go get it. See, again, everything's agreement. Go get your job. Go do it. When people talk about their God, I say, go pray to your God. I'm not here to convince them otherwise. But I still keep doing what I'm doing. I still creating what I'm creating. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, it's there. How did Paul get so many members? He got agreement. It really wasn't Paul that built Eckankar. It was the members. Because he got agreement. He got this person to agree and that person. Pretty soon, more people agreed. It's agreement. And we have agreement here. with what makes sense. You see, so we've got the best demonstration available to get agreement that makes sense, and that is the destruction of the world right in front of us. Because if people don't do something other than what they've always done, they ain't going to be around long, and then they're going to have to come back unconscious, whether they believe that or not, etc. So yes, we're in for a heck of a ride, and this is a heck of an adventure. And so, yes, Charles, thank you for asking. You're wonderful. Yes, all these questions are great. They're quite a challenge too.
So I had this experience earlier when I was taking a nap, and it's kind of like in regards to old attitudes I'm holding on to and stuff. But I'll just get into it. Okay, so I don't perfectly recall the entire experience, but it basically goes like this. I had gotten into a car with my mother and stepfather for some reason. I asked them to drop me off down the street because I had something that I thought was better to do, which I think it was like cleaning or something. I was cleaning my room or something, and I kind of threw a tantrum because I didn't get my way because they just kept driving, and I tried to shift myself back to my physical body because I wasn't enjoying getting upset. And then it kind of shifted, my experience kind of shifted to me getting visions of like beautiful worlds and like vistas and stuff. And they were all situated inside of pillars of light. And there was a lot of them. They were just like flashing before my eyes. And then it shifted again because I was trying to shift back to my physical body. And a young kid, I want to say Middle Eastern looking kid, approached me, and he was kind of speaking in a foreign language, and he was like waving his hands about and stuff. And the impression I got from him was that he was like trying to invite me back into like what was it called? Buddha's palm or something? Because a couple years ago, I read some excerpt from some comic I was reading. One of the old religions, they were talking about how Buddha holds the world in his hands and stuff. And all I could think to myself was that Buddha is not a god. And I thought that sentence to myself twice before I woke up. And that was the end of the experience. But I immediately ran to my book to try to interpret it. And I think the basic interpretation I got was that my parents weren't really my parents in the experience. They were the real guides in disguise. And then I realized that I'm still holding on to that attitude that I know better, which I don't. I really don't. And then I think I'm still subconsciously holding on to the idea of God and gods and all that stuff. And yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, and then I recalled as I was writing this down, while I was looking at the vistas, I got an image of a whole bunch of thrones and like all white and like they were pretty nice looking thrones because but they were all empty. There was nobody sitting in them. And then one throne jumped out at me, and on the front of it, it said all there is, but on the top of it, it said fear me or something like that because part of it was like scratched out. And but yeah, that was my experience earlier today.
Thank you, Eric. That's very good. Good for you. It takes time, but you're pursuing it and you're paying attention, which is good. So the real side experiences give you an objective point of view of yourself, and it's good to get together and as you better understand this, like this, get in the Skypes, or better yet, create a Skype as you start to get the gist of it, and just take the risk, go out there, and you'll be shown a lot more. This is where the boys will show you a lot more, and basically, yeah, you see that very well, and so that's okay. Yeah, these things are hidden within us. We really don't recognize everything. You know, it's just like where you live in your neighborhood. Even with all the houses and the people and the businesses around you, you don't recognize everything. You only recognize a very small part of it. And it can be years later where you're all of a sudden you meet somebody in the business, or you even meet your next door neighbor. I don't know all my neighbors. I don't know everything. And so because life is big, so, but you're paying attention. That's the best part. And you're not taking it for granted. Yeah, you're stepping up. So, oh, good for you. That's so cool. Yeah. Thank you. Was there anything else?
Thank you. No, that's it. Thank you.
Well, we love seeing you here. Thank you so much. Yeah. Again, this is for everybody. You know, I see the overview of things, but I don't know everything. That's silly. I don't pretend to know everything. That's not the idea. It's not about, because life is bigger than us. This is where I step back. Life is bigger. We're all in life, but it's for everyone. We're here. This is it. Whatever we're doing, and it's for everyone. And so again, it only makes more sense to make sense of what's really taking place, and not just all these things that we think are to be so, or we want to be so, or we like or we dislike or whatever. It's not about that. It's about what life really is, and that's what makes sense. So otherwise we stay lost in all these ideas, and then we forget why we were here, why we came here in the first place, and then we you know, we come back and we do it again and again and again. It's silly when you can just simply wake up, but yeah, it's good for you. But anyhow, so the focus on the projects and what we're doing, and I've given examples here. This is the whole idea of what we've created with things, and it takes a lot to implement these things and to get the agreement with them. It takes a whole lot. And even I, just as an example, the last 3 years, and even before that, it was with Chris here and many others for the longest time. I've been through so much, and I've seen so many people come and go. It's a toughie. It's a toughie to stick it out, but the boys are there. They suck it out. They stick it out. They know what's real. You have to reach a certain point to where you're able to stand real with it always. You want to reach that point, not to come and go, because then you fall back. And yes, you maybe did it in past lifetimes, which many people have, and then each lifetime becomes a refresher course to see if you'll fulfill yourself again. But again, many people come and go. I've seen them. I've seen even people that know about their past lives from when they were with the real guides in the past, and now they're getting their refresher course, but they're still not paying attention. So, and it's very easy to get absorbed in the personal self. I get it, because we have to struggle, we have to survive. It is struggle here. It's hard for everybody. That's where the teamwork thing makes sense. Yes, it does. So it's more so that it's not the baseball thing, because baseball is fun. Football is a lot harder, but we're on the football field now. Yes. We're simply trying to get something done. This is the completion, getting to the goal, the goal line. And so again, we've got a lot of offense there, and that is that, and really many times the biggest offense is ourselves, getting through ourselves, recognizing ourselves, not seeing so much what's the so-called faults of the world or the faults of others, yeah, but no, it's ourself, because it's all about us. It's an isness. This is what's so cool about it. You don't have to go past yourself. It's not about projecting anymore. It's not about astral or soul travel or any of these things. These are ideas that allow a person to be objective. That's the only reason Paul started off with that way. He basically started off with astral projection, and that was for people to become objective about themselves, to see themselves more so. But you don't need even to do that to learn to be objective. Once you learn to recognize the isness, you can learn to be very, very objective. Totally so. That's the cool part about it. And this is where many people unconsciously got trapped in this aspect of soul travel. And yeah, we have soul travel, dreams, past lives. Okay, these are references, but they're in creation. They're creation only. They're not the ultimate. They don't deal with the ultimate. They only deal with creation. And so there is a difference. And so this is where I've created this decided difference. I've decided that it's not the 5th level anymore, it's the 7th level, redecided all of this. And because it makes sense with what the new nowness of the all is life itself has agreed. You see? It has agreed. And so this is the awesome relationship that we have with life, and that is that when you make sense of things and your intent and your heart is in it, you're sincere, you're humble, you're all these things grateful, life responds and it agrees. You see? Because we are it itself. You see? Life is our partner, and then things work out to where you're even beyond the freedom that you can even consider. But yes, at the same time, you have the bodies, if you're still here, and the embodiments. It's workable. It's not easy, but you have the awareness. That becomes the difference. It's just not an idea following a master and listening to pretty words. It's more than that. So yes, thank you, Eric. You're wonderful for stepping up. Yes, it's worth it to be the risk taker. Yes, and we're all on this planet together. We're all in life together, and everything's okay. It's a toughie, but I'm always motivated simply because we're most fortunate to have this awareness now, and we can do it. It'll take time, but you know what? The challenge is okay. Just like going through school. We made it. We made it through the 12 grades, and we made it through college and whatever, and we can make it through this. We have the best guidance. We can do this. Yes, thank you so much. You're wonderful for sharing. Yes, yes, you really are. Yes, I'm very sincere with everything I do. Yes, it's for everyone. It's for all of you. Thank you.